Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to be looking at um, some more examples of how to use having command in SQL language. If you recall, in the last tutorial we started looking at how to combine having with aggregate functions. So we are going to be doing something similar, but just a different example of how to use having combined with an aggregate function. So let's say we have this requirement that prepare a report, prepare a report that shows the number of employees uh, bearing the same first name. Okay, so the business wants to know, the management wants to know, do we have employees that go by the same first name? And if the answer is yes, how many are they? So the business wants to know the number of employees we have in the employees table that go by the same first name. Okay, so in order to retrieve this record or this data, and in order to satisfy these business requirements, so what we need to do is to say um, select. Let me do a quick select star just to see everything we have in employees table. So I'll do select star from employees. Select star from employees to see all we have in this table. Okay, so select star is going to show us everything we have in employees table. So what the business wants to know is, if you come to this first name column, you see that we have first name Barry, Ariel, Sydney, Avram, like that. So we have 1,000 employees. But some of these employees, it's possible two, three, four people can share the same first name or the same last name. So our first name in a table is not expected to be unique. I'm free to go by any name I want. So more than two, three, four people can share the same name. So, and that's what the business wants to know. Do we have some employees sharing the same first name? And if we do, how many are these employees that fall into that category? And that's exactly what we want to look at. Okay, so let me get rid of this so that I can show you how to do that. So if I want to know the number of employees that have the same first name, all I need to do is to select first name from employees table. So I select first name and I want to count the number of these first names that we have. Okay, and the aggregate function to do that for us is count. So we want to count all the first name. So I don't need to do count first name. I can do count star, which means count all. I told you from some of the previous tutorials that I is a personal preference for me to do count star. If you want, you can do count first name. You can do count employee ID. But to be on a very safe side, I always do count all. Okay, and that leaves the option of what column or what field do I use to the system. It leaves that option to the RDBMS to figure out that, okay, what column do I use for this count all. So all I do is just to say count star. So we do select first name, count all, and the table we are using is employees. So we count all from employees. And don't forget that the moment you have a non-aggregate column with an aggregate column in the same query, you need to introduce a group by clause, and you group by the non-aggregate column. So in this instance, the non-aggregate column we have is first name. So we group by first name. Let's run this query and see what we have. Select first name, count all from employees, group by first name. Okay, so we have 929 employees. Don't forget that what we have, the number of employees we have in this table is 1000. But in this instance, it's saying we have 929. That suggests something to me. So it means we definitely have some employees that share the same first name. How do we retrieve this exact record that meets or that satisfies the business requirement that we are looking at? For a moment, I'm going to order this result. I'm going to say order by first name, or let me order by count star, order by count star, which is the second column. So I can say order by two, descending. So we have Billy and we have Roslyn. So three employees share Billy as their first name. Three employees share Roslyn as their first name. We have Stormy, two employees, Male, two employees, Kerry, Patty, Bev, Spence, Wandis, Yardley, Jania, Rory, Lawton, Stacy, Tammy, Phoebe, Manolo, Stefano, Beckley, and so on and so forth. Card, Carry. So this shows to us that we definitely have some employees that share the same first name. Okay, now how do I filter this out from the record? Because all we are doing now is using order by so that we can see those that have that first. We still have those that have distinct first name. But how do I extract those that share the same first name? And that is where the having clause or the having command comes handy. So all I need to do is to come here and say having this column, the second column or the count star column. So I'll say having count star greater than 2. Because if the count of employees is greater than 1, that means we have 2 or more employees sharing that first name. So I will say having count star or having count all greater than 1, so that that can filter every occurrence of distinct first name. So we are not going to be seeing all these counts that equals 1. All we're going to be seeing is 2, 3, and the likes. Okay, so if I run this, now I have 69 rows affected. It means the total number of employees that share the same first name are 69. That's the meaning. So we have 3 for Roslyn, we have 3 for Billy, Akim, Dell, Avatar, like that. So if I scroll to the very bottom, you're not going to see any occurrence of 1. So this is the query we need to write to meet or to satisfy the business requirement that we have. Don't forget that having is used to filter on an aggregate column like counts or sum or max or main, any of the aggregate column. Anytime you have a requirement that requires you filtering on an aggregate column, what you need to use is having and not where. Where is used to filter on um, a non-aggregate column. So let's say I only want to see Annie and Brianna. Then I can use where. So I can come here and say where first name equals Annie, where first name in Annie or Brianna. So we use where to filter on a non-aggregate column, while we use having to filter on an aggregate column like count, main, marks, and the likes. Okay, so if you really want to grasp this concept, you might need to watch this video over and over again. In the next tutorial, we're going to look at one more example, and then that will be it for having clause. We'll be moving to a new concept entirely. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.